On the news tonight, Delta State University, Abraka gets new Vice Chancellor. Traditional rulers tasked to educate youth to enlist in the Nigerian Army. Senate vows to address challenges facing steel sector. In business, Minister of Power constitutes committee to provide solution to incessant grid collapse. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Delta Television Main News tonight. My name is Pauline Okolie. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has approved the appointment of Professor Samuel Ogenovo Asagba as the new Vice Chancellor of the Delta State University, DELSU, Abraka. A statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, said the appointment will take effect from 1st of December. A professor of environmental biochemistry and toxicology, Professor Asagba had previously served the university in various capacities, including serving as Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, as well as Provost of the defunct Asaba campus of the Delta State University. The Delta State University Teaching Hospital, DELSU Togara, Ethiopia West Local Government Area, has received national and West Africa accreditation for surgery and other medical courses. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Onojeme, disclosed this while briefing journalists on the outcome of a meeting with the Governor, Sheriff Oborevwori, top officials of the teaching hospital, and the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA. Dr. Onojeme said the hospital was working on getting accreditation for internal medicine, radiology, community medicine, among others. Commissioner said the leadership of the hospital and that of the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCON, DELSU, came to appreciate the governor for the strides in the hospital. He commended Governor Oborevwori for approving the purchase of CT scan for the hospital and requested for more facilities to make the place habitable for staff and patients. The commissioner said Governor Oborevwori has also agreed to do more in the area of echocardiography and MRI. In their remarks, the Chief Medical Director, CMD of the hospital, Dr. Auno Nyemike, the acting MD-CON chairman, DELSU Thogara, Professor Jude Uchendu, and the state chairman, the NMA, Dr. Israel Adaigo, expressed satisfaction with improvement in the fortunes of the hospital. The State Legislature House Committee on Housing, Women Affairs, Girl Child Entrepreneurship, and Humanitarian Support Services today submitted its report on the Delta State Domestic Staff Service Providers Registration Bill before the lawmakers. Favor Okafo reports.
Presenting the report at plenary, the Chairman House Committee on Housing, Women Affairs, Girl Child Entrepreneurship and Humanitarian Support Services and member representing Oshimle South constituency, Honorable Bridget Anyafulu, said after a public hearing where stakeholders made recommendations and other suggestions were gathered, the committee came up with a detailed and well-analyzed report for legislative adoption.
Honorable members, may I respectfully call the House attention to the vote and proceedings of 5th of September 2024, wherein the House at the sitting referred the Delta State Domestic Staff Service Providers Registration Bill 2024 to the House Committee on Housing, Women Affairs, Humanitarian Support Services, and Girl Child Entrepreneurship for further legislative action.
The committee was later congratulated for a job well done, and the report deferred to November 13 for the Committee of the Whole House for further legislative action. Still at plenary, the Delta State recognition of legal rights of River Ethiopia Bill was withdrawn by its lead sponsor and Deputy Speaker, the Right Honorable Arthur Akbawawo. Earlier, under personal explanation, the member representing Ndokwa West constituency, Honorable Charles Emetulu, informed the House of the passing of two of its non-sitting members, Honorable Aneke Ifemeni, the pioneer Majority Leader, and Honorable Emeka Ukwe, Majority Whip, during the 4th Assembly. The state legislators expressed condolences to the bereaved families as well as Ndokwa West constituents and later observed a minute silence for the former members.
May the soul of Honorable Emeka Ukwe, former Majority Whip of the Delta State House of Assembly, and that of Honorable Chief Anyeke Efemini, pioneer Majority Leader of the Delta State House of Assembly, rest in the bosom of the Lord.
From the Assembly complex, I am favor to conference.
The Delta State Awareness Creation Committee on Youth Enlistment into the Military and Paramilitary Services has called on traditional rulers to educate eligible youths in their areas, like to fill slot allotted to the state. Commissioner for Youth Development and Chairman of the committee, Mr. Thank Harry Trakiriowe, made a call when the committee visited the Delta State Traditional Rulers Council in Asaba. Bridget Agetu reports.
Mr. Takirowe said the visit became necessary following Delta State's inability to fill the vacant positions reserved for the state, stressing that awareness among the youth will spur them to apply for the various positions. He thanked the Royal Fathers for their exemplary leadership style in their domains, urging them to continue to be custodians of the culture of the people.
Delta has been shortchanged for a very long time, and I think this time is a different tone. You understand? So I think the committee has to build upon themselves that there's not going to be politics. Everything is going to be done normal. And Deltas will feel the effect of this committee. That whoever that comes in and fits the criteria will be selected.
The Director General of the Delta State Orientation and Communication Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogenesiwe, noted that the Royal Fathers' influence over their subjects, hence the request for support towards convincing youth to buy into the program. Dr. Ogenesiwe thanked the monarchs for their contributions to the success of the peace and development agenda of Governor Sheriff Oborowori and described them as indispensable in building a new Delta.
And His Excellency, the Governor of the state, Sheriff Oborowori, you know, he's a youth-friendly governor. He's a man with a purple heart. He's the one driving this process. And everywhere, whether Army, Navy, Air Force, paramilitary, customs, he wants us to intensify the effort to see more of our people are in the Air Force. They are in the Navy, they are in the customs, okay, they are in DSS, they are in all ramifications, including civil service.
The first Vice Chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council, Luke Kalamana, the 8th, the Pere of Akugbenem Kingdom, urged the community to intensify sensitization programs to enable young Deltans partake in the enlistment in the Nigeria Army.
As responsible citizens of Delta State who are holding very high offices, we also believe that we take our message to heart and prosperous so that, like I said earlier on, if we succeed in getting this right, we can rest assured that subsequent events we see,
the immediate past chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council and the Obi of Owa, Dr. Emmanuel Ifezomo II, called for transparency in the enlistment exercise to enable Deltans have faith in the process.
Our visitors, Latin House, fear lies politics of improvement because they have come around to give advertisement so that our people have courage to.
Bridget Agetu reporting.
The state head of service, Mr. Reginald Bayoko, has charged civil servants to be dedicated to core values the service is known for. Mr. Bayoko gave the charge when 6 newly retired permanent secretaries and 1 head of extra-ministerial department paid him a valedictory visit in Asaba. Henry Usiayo reports.
Mr. Bayoko thanked the retired senior civil servants for their service to the state and their contributions to the growth and development of the state civil service. He described the civil service as the engine room of any administration and enjoined civil servants to advance the fundamental principles for which the service is known for. Mr. Bayoko reaffirmed government's commitment to training and retraining its employees to create a civil service that can effectively compete with their counterparts anywhere in the world.
The years of togetherness have been productive. That's a memory that we will carry all through. But let me just say that your dedication and leadership, and of course your unwavering commitment was what propelled you to the top of your career in the civil service. And I would want to say without a fear of contradiction that those virtues are part of the things that shape the fabric of the public service in which we are in. And I believe that in your respective MDAs, you have left legacies that will endure and stand the test of time.
Some serving permanent secretaries, including the chairman of the College Welfare Committee, Dr. Ngozi Mogbolu, in their goodwill messages, appreciated the retired permanent secretaries for their wealth of experience, noting that though they are retired, they still have more to give to the society.
You still have a lot. You have a whole lot to give to the society. Your wealth of experience that you have gathered in the course of the civil service, the lives that you have touched, they will speak well for you.
I don't have any doubt in their capacity to journey on smoothly.
It's our prayer that God will give you wisdom to direct all the affairs to His glory and to your blessings.
The retired permanent secretaries, while sharing their experience during their years of service, thanked the state government for the opportunity to serve and stressed the need for loyalty to superior officers in the service. They also harped on the need for civil servants to imbibe the virtue of hard work, discipline, and respect in the discharge of their duties in order to achieve success in their career.
We had a lot of challenges, but all the to weather the storm.
There is need for training and retraining of staff. There are some level 15, 16 who cannot even defend the offices they are occupying.
I want to thank His Excellency the Governor for giving me the space to be a permanent secretary in this administration.
Every civil servant, from the first day of your service to the last day, should be prayerful. Always trust in God and diligently deliver on your assigned responsibility painstakingly.
The retired permanent secretaries are Dr. Charles Jaye, Mrs. Patricia Esejo, Chief Frank Arara, Mr. Ebitomo Bruno, Mr. Ben Agama, and Mr. Okocha James. The event featured the presentation of purses to the retired permanent secretaries by the head of service.
To everything that has a beginning, there is definitely an end. To these permanent secretaries, they have meritoriously served the state, and now they have taken their bow out of service. For Delta Television, Henry Usiayo reporting.
Governor Sheriff Obregori has congratulated the former governor of the state, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan, who clocked 70 years today. In a statement by Chief Press Secretary Sir Festus Ahmon, Governor Obregori expressed gratitude to God for the life of the former governor and for granting him many years of great accomplishments. Governor Obregori lauded Dr. Uduaghan for supporting his emergence as governor. He commended Dr. Uduaghan for his outstanding contributions to the growth and development of the state and country, stressing that some of the iconic projects in the state capital remained indelible legacies of the former governor's stewardship in the state. Governor Breweri described Dr. Duara as a compassionate and a detribalized leader and elder statesman of repute, whose contributions to the growth and development of the state and the country would remain ingrained in historical archives. He appealed to the elder statesman to continue to provide useful advice to the government and people of the state, and prayed God to bless him with good health, wisdom, strength, and long life. Governor Breweri gave special recognition to Dr. Duara for the state's free maternal and under-5 health care programs, which established a national standard for that category of health care. President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his resolve to continue to promote education and youth empowerment. President Tinubu stated this at the 39th convocation ceremony of the University of Ilorin, Kwara State. The president, who was represented by the Minister of State for Education, Malam Yusuf Sununu, highlighted the federal government's resolve to improving the educational system and fostering youth engagement in nation building. He emphasized the importance of education in shaping Nigeria's future and the role of young graduates in addressing the nation's challenges. President Tinubu congratulated the graduates for their academic achievements and urged them to be proactive in contributing to the country's development. He acknowledged the current economic and security challenges facing the country and expressed optimism in the nation's resilience. The president highlighted his initiatives to supporting students and educational institutions, such as the disbursement of student loans, and encouraged students to take advantage of the scheme. The Senate has summoned the chairman of the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, retired General Buba Marwa, to appear before it over allegations raised against the Deputy Senate Leader, Senator Oyelola Ashiru, APC, Kwara South. The Senate has also set up a 6-member panel to invite persons involved in the accusation raised by NDLEA that Senator Ashiru made disparaging comments on NDLEA last week because he failed to stop the arrest and trial of some persons found to be involved in drug abuse in his house. The panel, which is chaired by Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe Abga, Abia South, has Senator Kakashehu, APC, Borno Central, Senator Ede Dafinone, APC, Delta Central, Senator Ireti Kingibe, LP-FCT, Senator Afolabi Shuaibu, APC, Ogun Central, and Senator Laura Usman, PDP, Kaduna Central. Resolutions of the Senate today were sequeled to a point of order by Senator Ashiru. Senator Ashiru, who came under Order 42 of the Senate Standing Order, explained how the reaction to his comment last week during a debate on a bill by the NDLEA has affected his integrity, as he neither takes alcohol nor take carbonated drinks except water, pleaded that the matter must be taken very seriously. The Senate took the matter after rising from a closed-door session. The Senate has vowed to address challenges confronting steel development, saying there is a need to also call for stakeholders' conferences to look into those challenges, given that the steel sector is critical to the economic development of the nation. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Steel Development, Senator Patrick Ndubeze, stated this during the committee's oversight visit to the Minister of Steel Development in Abuja yesterday. He said the Ministry of Steel Development was a vital agency of government that galvanizes the industry in line with the vision of steel development for the country. Hence, lawmakers would work with the ministry to ensure that iron and steel is developed to full capacity. The senator assured the Ministry of Legislative Support that would encourage research and steel development, insisting that Nigeria must be able to meet its local consumption needs. Responding, the Minister of Steel Development, Prince Shuaibu Audu, expressed gratitude for lawmakers' concern and the need for iron and steel development in Nigeria, stressing that there was no alternative to iron and steel development if the nation must attain its goal of greatness. The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, Mr. Aderemi Oseni, announced yesterday that the federal government under President Bola Tinubu is prepared to repair all federal roads across Nigeria as part of the President's renewed hope agenda to alleviate the suffering of the masses. Mr. Oseni, representing Ibrapa East Ido Federal Constituency of Oyo State, disclosed this during his thank you visit to the State Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress at Okeado in Ibadan, the state capital. The lawmaker, lamenting the deplorable condition of federal roads nationwide, urged Nigerians to be patient with Tinubu and allow him more time to address Nigeria's challenges. The Kano state government has announced the withdrawal of accreditation to 14 journalists assigned to cover its activities from their organizations. In a message forwarded to the affected reporters yesterday, Mr. Sanusi Bature Dawankintofa, the spokesperson for Governor Abba Yusuf, directed the journalists to return to their respective organizations for replacement. Report says that the decision to withdraw the accreditation of those listed may have been linked to several incidents. The West African Examinations Council said the computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates 2024 second series will begin from Friday, October 25 to Friday, December 20, 2024. A statement by WAEC today said the examination would adopt a hybrid mode of delivering the examination, adding that the registration period had been extended to Tuesday, October 29, 2024. It said the examination will adopt the hybrid mode of delivering the examination, which implies that the objective or multiple choice questions will be rendered on screen and candidates will be required to give their responses on the screen, while the practical questions will be rendered on screen likewise, but candidates would have to give their responses using the answer booklets provided. Meanwhile, the examination diet has provided an option for candidates who may wish to use paper and pen mode for the whole examination papers. The National Security Advisor, NSA, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has said the federal government is investigating Gulf of Guinea as a major route for arms trafficking into Nigeria. Malam Ribadu made this known today in Abuja at a two-day seminar on climate change and the changing dynamics of arms proliferation and insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea, Nigeria in perspective. The seminar was organized by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, NCCSALW, Office of the National Security Advisor, in collaboration with the Global Network for Human Development. Malam Ribadu, represented by the Director of External Affairs, Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, Mr. Ibrahim Babani, said the small and light weapons had long been identified as both a root cause and enabler of insecurity globally, adding that the threat posed by their availability in the hands of non-state actors and international crime syndicates had left countries grappling with finding solutions to combating the challenges. The police command in Ebonyi State has warned its officers and men to steer clear of unprofessional acts and focus on promoting the good image of the Nigeria Police Force. The command's Public Relations Officer, PPRO, DSP Joshua Ukando, handed down the warning in a statement today in Abakaliki, the state capital. Mr. Ukando said that the warning became necessary following a viral video on social media depicting its officers in the state acting unprofessionally at their duty posts. He denounced the unprofessional behavior of the officers, adding that they would not go unpunished. The PPRO said that the command had commenced disciplinary actions against the officers. Controversial cross-dresser Okune, otherwise known as Bobrisky, is currently in detention at the Force Criminal Investigation Department, FCID Annex, Alagbon, Lagos State, where he spent the night in his cell at the police facility. Reports say further directives are being awaited regarding Okune's case, adding that he was taken to the FCID for safekeeping following his arrest by officials of the Nigeria Immigration Service during his attempt to exit the country through the semi-border. The FCID Lagos today confirmed Okune's detention. You're watching Delta Television main news. Still to come. Minister of Power constitutes committee to proffer solution to incessant grid collapse. Please stay with us. We'll be back.
Baby, why should they do younger like this?
As you see me so, I don't become 10x of the woman when I be before. Berekete 10x.
Make you enjoy 10 times your recharge, double data, and other betterment on top, voice calls, IG, TikTok, audio and video streaming, Zoom calls, and other better things them. Dial *301#.
You never finish up. 1,000 naira welcome bonus for voice and data.
You mean all this thing for Berekete 10x?
Full for the enjoyment.
Is your line blocked? You can get your line unblocked free, fast and easy. Quickly go to any Glow World shop or SIM registration center near you and link your NIN to your Glow line right now. Got no NIN? Visit the nearest NIMC office, get an NIN, and then link it to your Glow line. NIN registration is free, so reconnect with Glow today.
What happens when greed meets desperation?
Yeah.
How far would you go to get what you want?
Even my life is even on the line. So please, help me so that we can get out of this all.
How could you do this to me?
A gripping movie inspired by a true life story.
Maybe you could consider other options.
You think I've not done that?
Experience the twist, the betrayal, and the thrill that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Get ready for the movie. The Inside Enemy. The Inside Enemy dropping on Delta TV YouTube channel on November 1 at 9 p.m. prompt. Don't miss it.
Glad to welcome you back to Delta Television main news. The Minister of Power, Mr. Adebayo Adelabu, has constituted a 6-member committee to advise the federal government on necessary solutions to make the national grid robust and reliable. This was disclosed today in a statement in Abuja. The statement listed members of the committee to include Mr. Nafisat Ali, Executive Director, Independent System Operator, ISO, who leads the committee, Dr. Chidi Ike, Commissioner, National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, and Mr. Ishola, General Manager, National Control Center, NCC. Others are Mr. Emmanuel Nosike, Director, Transmission, Ministry of Power, Mr. Ali Sharifai, General Manager, Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Mr. Adebayo Olowoni, Chief Technical Advisor to the Minister of Power. They said the committee is expected to present its report to the Minister on November 1st. The statement expressed the Minister's displeasure at the incessant national grid collapse, which is said was capable of rubbishing the giant strides made in the power sector in the last 1 year. Mr. Tunji recalled that on October 14, there was a partial collapse due to the tripping of a line at the Jeba transmission substation and a recurring fault at the Oshobo transmission substation. He said efforts to restore the grid further resulted in a setback the following day. The system was, however, fully restored on October 16. And from the foreign scene, one of the tightest U.S. election races of modern times enters its final 2-week stretch today, with Republican Donald Trump making a pitch to Latino voters as Democratic rival Kamala Harris sits down for a national television interview. Both campaigns are pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into a last push for undecided voters who could tilt the balance in their favor, with polls showing the candidates in a dead heat ahead of Election Day. About 18 million Americans have already voted by mail or in person, representing more than 10% of the total in 2020. And turnout could well be the deciding factor who wins the White House. Whatever the result, Americans will make history on November 5. They will either elect the first woman president in the world's leading superpower, or they will put a former president into the White House. Some polls appear to be giving Trump, who at 78 is the oldest nominee from a major party in U.S. history, a slight edge recently, but all within the margin of error. The former president still refuses to accept his 2020 election defeat to outgoing President Joe Biden and is expected to reject the result if he loses, potentially pitching the United States into chaos. And still from the foreign scene, Hezbollah today claimed responsibility for a drone attack last week targeting the home of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and acknowledged that some of its fighters have been taken captive by the Israeli army. Hezbollah spokesman Mohammed Afif made the remarks during a press conference in Beirut's southern suburbs that was cut short following an Israeli evacuation warning for the area. An Israeli strike hit a target hundreds of meters away from the site of the conference just minutes after journalists left. On Saturday, Netanyahu accused Hezbollah of attempting to assassinate him and his wife after a drone was launched towards his residence in the central town of Caesarea. Afif also acknowledged that some of the group's fighters were captured by the Israeli army without giving numbers. And away from the foreign scene, back home, let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
MTN Nigeria, the country's largest telecom operator, has stressed the urgent need for the telecommunications sector to return to profitability to sustain its operations. The Chief Executive Officer of MTN, Mr. Kar Toriola, made this known yesterday during a tour of MTN's facilities by fellows of the Media Innovation Program in Beju, Lekki, Lagos. The MTN chief, who has about 78 million subscribers under his watch, pinpointed that the sector has been accumulating significant losses and that immediate action is necessary to reverse this trend. The operator, with a corporate social investment of 2.6 billion naira, according to its 2023 sustainability report, is now surviving on the profit it accumulated in about 2 decades. It further elaborated that the company is currently operating on its reserves, which he described as unsustainable in the long run. Earlier this year, telecom operators renewed calls for a tariff hike, the first increase in 11 years, to address rising operational costs and improve service quality. Without such adjustment, they argued, financial viability and service standard will continue to decline. Meanwhile, from November 1, 2024, a one-way flight ticket from Lagos to Abuja on Airpeace is to hit 200,000 naira. The harsh economy has been affecting the aviation business, causing airlines to increase their fares amid lamentations from passengers. This development has forced some Nigerians to abandon flights for road transport. Airfares of airlines yesterday showed that Airpeace is increasing its fares to 200,000 naira from November, the highest among domestic airlines. While Airpeace has 200,000 and above on its website for a one-way trip between Lagos and Abuja, Hero is charging 94,000 to over 109,000 naira. Arik Air has between 104,405 naira to 139,292 naira, and Ibom Air ranges between 124,000 to 133,000 naira. The airfares have left many passengers stranded at airports in recent times as they could not secure flights to their destinations. The busiest routes, Lagos, Abuja, and Abuja, Lagos, are more impacted as many passengers find it tough to secure seats.
And still on business, Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals Company has taken legal action against the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, and some major importers in the oil and gas sector at the Federal High Court in Abuja. In the suit, the company is seeking 100 billion naira in damages from the NMDPRA for continuing to issue licenses for the importation of refined products such as automotive gas oil and Jet A1 aviation fuel. The private refiners claimed its production exceeded domestic consumption levels, rendering imports unnecessary. The refining further sought a court declaration confirming that it was exempt from all federal, state, and local taxes in accordance with the Nigerian Export Processing Zone Act, the company's Income Tax Act, and other relevant laws. But marketers kicked against it, stressing apologies for the break. Still on business, Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals Company has taken legal action against the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, and some major importers in the oil and gas sector at the Federal High Court in Abuja. In the suit, the company is seeking 100 billion naira in damages from the NMDPRA for continuing to issue licenses for the importation of refined products such as automotive gas oil and Jet A1 aviation fuel. The private refiners claimed this production exceeded domestic consumption levels, rendering imports unnecessary. The refinery further sought a court declaration confirming that it was exempt from all federal, state, and local taxes in accordance with the Nigerian Export Processing Zone Act, the company's Income Tax Act, and other relevant laws. But oil marketers kicked against it, stressing that the market had been deregulated and dealers were free to import the commodities or buy from the $20 billion Lekki, Lagos state-based refinery. And now sports. Wilfred Ndidi is the 9th Nigerian footballer to reach 200 appearances in the Premier League. Ndidi joined the exclusive list in Leicester City's 3-2 win against Southampton at the St. Mary's Stadium last Saturday. The defensive midfielder, however, still has a long way to go before making it to the top of the list. Newcastle United legend Shola Anunobi is the Nigerian with the highest number of appearances in the English top flight. The striker made 298 appearances during his 14-year spell with the Magpies. Former Arsenal star Nwankwo Kanu is second with 273 appearances, while Alex Iwobi occupies third position with 261 appearances. Yakubu Ayagbeni, a former Everton striker, sits in fourth position with 252 appearances. John Mikel Obi occupies the fifth spot with 249 appearances, while Joseph Yobo, who occupies sixth position, has 228 appearances. Victor Moses and Victor Anichebe have 220 and 205 appearances each. And still on sports, the president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Patrice Motsepe, has urged nations on the continent to endeavor to treat visiting teams with respect and dignity. Motsepe made the call amid investigations into the Super Eagles of Nigeria being detained at the Libya airport for hours after their flight was diverted. Recall the African Football Governing Body has launched a probe into the incident with the verdict to be made public. Speaking about the incident, Motsepe reiterated that investigation is still ongoing on the case and that appropriate action will be taken. He, however, noted that CAF as a body would not tolerate lack of sportsmanship. A thought for the day: keep going, keep pushing, and know that every step forward is a step closer to your dreams. Our highlights before we go. Governor Sheriff Obreweri has approved the appointment of Professor Samuel Ogenovu Asagba as the new Vice Chancellor of the Delta State University, DELSU, Abraka. A statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, said the appointment will take effect from 1st of December. The Delta State Awareness Creation Committee on Youth Enlistment into the Military and Paramilitary Services has called on traditional rulers to educate eligible youths in their areas to apply to fill slots allotted to the state. The senators vowed to address challenges confronting steel development, saying that there is a need to also call for stakeholders' conferences to look into those challenges, given that the steel sector is critical to the socioeconomic development of the nation. And the Minister of Power, Mr. Adebayo Adelabu, has constituted a 6-member committee to advise the federal government on necessary solutions to make the national grid robust and reliable. And that's our news on Delta Television tonight. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Pauline Okolie. Good night.
Delta State Government Special Announcement. Nigerian Army 88 regular recruits intake for non-trades and tradesmen and women. Delta State Government and His Excellency, the Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Obreweri JP, is by this announcement encouraging qualified Delta youths and members of the public to apply online for the Nigerian Army 88 regular recruits intake for non-trades and tradesmen and women. Duration of application. The application, which commenced on Monday 30th September 2024, will end on Friday 8th November 2024. The online application is